Asleep, is he? The ploughing plunkard. Break me pearlies on this blasted pit-ridden tract. Where's veered on dry road? Oi! The devil's after him! He's running from! Lepiata, shield us.
हवा में उठा लिया भाई. Final destination. Siri.
Salt. Almost had me fooled, Fruin.
ये ऐसा abruptly कैसे बंद हो गया?
We're stepping things up. And to do that, we needed the right partner. One that truly understands that great open world games are all about art and technology coming together.
Yeah, and look, our goals are completely aligned here. And around the launch of UE5, your awesome team at CD Projekt Red announced a collaboration to make open world development in Unreal even better. And it's an opportunity, we just couldn't pass it up. So we've been working on a technical demo together to achieve just that. I think we should take a look at it. You guys ready?
Born ready. Kaitek is going to play the build for us.
Sure, let's do it.
अरे खेल के दिखा रहे हैं ये लोग.
This is a technological showcase set in the world of The Witcher 4. What you just saw and are going to see now is running on a standard PlayStation 5 at 60 FPS.
ले PlayStation 5.
So in the game, you'll be playing as Ciri, a professional monster slayer, a witcher. She explores the world and hunts down monsters for coin. The region we are in is called Kovir, and you'll get to explore it in a game. Right now, Ciri is investigating the monster, and after gathering new clues, she is heading back to a nearby village.
ये सच में खेल रहा है या?
All right, everyone, meet Kelpie.
ये तो क्लिप लग रही है.
Let weeds be weeds, Kelpie.
So just like Geralt had Roach, Ciri has her own loyal companion.
We return to town.
These two characters need to feel like one. Since you're gonna explore the world on horseback, riding needs to feel seamless, natural, and just fun.
Yeah, and to support that, we're introducing multi-character motion matching in Unreal. So Ciri and Kelpie, they're perfectly synchronized when mounting from any angle and speed. And we also support root motion movement on Kelpie, so controlling her feels realistic and grounded. And there are also some really nice improvements to our Unreal Chaos Flesh Solver and these machine-learned deformations. So you've got realistic muscles moving and stretching under Kelpie's skin without compromising performance there.
Oh, damn. गजब यार, ये तो next level है.
Let's leave Ciri behind for a second and talk about the world itself. So much of the Witcher world is natural, organic, especially Kovir with its dense forest and wild nature.
Yeah, and wild nature is hard. And with Nanite geometry, we've freed artists from so many of their old constraints. But we don't want to rest until everything we do in Unreal has that same spirit of freedom. There's always more work to do. And foliage is a huge piece of that puzzle.
Bro, this
So we are
looks like a
excited to
movie.
introduce nanite foliage.
What is nanite foliage?
And in order to achieve gorgeous
Bro.
foliage density everywhere, while still being memory efficient, fast to render, we believe that a new idea was needed. So instead of the same card approach we've been using for the past 20 years, artists should be free to take a nanite approach to foliage, modeling every single leaf and pine needle. And the old LOD tricks of the past, they needed a complete rethink. And in their place, it's a new adaptive voxel representation in nanite. It's volumetric, it's fully 3D, it is super fast to render.
यार
And
ये
these dense clusters of triangles turn into these cubes.
तो किसी फिल्म का
which,
सीन
at a
लग रहा है.
distance, they're no larger than a pixel, and they react to the changing light of our dynamic sun and our shadows, and they allow artists to render whatever amount of foliage is needed to achieve their vision without compromise.
And no compromise means how ambitious we are when it comes to bringing our vision to life with incredible visuals. But more than that, together with Epic, we created faster way to load the world. We can now bring in more content more quickly for the smoothest possible experience as we fly down to catch up with Siri. Welcome to Valdrest. So Valdrest is a port town, a hub for fishing, trade and mining. It's one of those places where you can meet shady characters or overhear gossip from other lands. It's also where Ciri took on her current contract. High-tech, let's leave Kelpie here and explore the marketplace and food.
भाई साहब मजा ही आ जाएगा यार.
I'm so excited we can finally show you some of this stuff. Let's see what Valdrest has to offer.
सनलाइट और शैडो. ये देखो थूक रहा है. थूक दिखा उसका भाई. उसका थूक दिखा है गिरते हुए. ये देखो कैसे कैसे वो धक्का देके जा रही है. ये देखो
Notice how responsive the world is.
एक एक वो गिर रहा है. फ्रूट
Character
गिरा.
actions directly affect what happens around you, sometimes even setting off chain reactions. Everything is working together. Oh, look at this poor gentleman being taught how to fly by an angry innkeeper. That's what happens when you cheat at Gwen.
टिरियन लैनिस्टर भी है.
Okay, so this is the guy who gave the series quest his own. Like you probably suspect, he has his own agenda in all of this.
वो वेलकम वाला बंदा भी क्या था अभी. वो बोलता है ना मेरी एक टांग निकली है. मैं हॉकी का बहुत बड़ा खिलाड़ी था.
A typical day's toil.
Who in? Ah, Witcheress. What news of my wagons?
विचरेस.
No eternity is taking that damn salt to arrive.
I found them. And, well, suffice to say, they'll not reach you. As for the salt, I found not one speck. I presume this comes as no surprise to you. Now. Kavir's smuggling trade is of no concern to me.
Shush, shush, shush.
The manticore that flattened your cart and devoured your men, quite the opposite.
Manticore? No, them winged hellspawn dwell in the arse end of Creighton. Not here.
While Siri decides what to do about that merchant, let's take a look at the character technology that powers this marketplace. Why don't we listen in on these fishmongers? They're selling their wares, chatting up customers.
Born and catch fishes, won't find none fresher.
Reckon you ladies after one of them.
Get this cleaned and gutted for you. You mind, dearest?
भाई यार कितना ज्यादा वो है. डायनामिक है.
And there is tons of tech at play here, even in this simple market stall. Metahuman tools, improved Unreal smart objects, chaos cloth, and more.
Yeah, And all of this exists to make sure that the gap in quality between Siri and NPCs is as small as possible.
Yeah, and closing that gap, it's not just about fidelity, right, but also authenticity. They should react to changes in the world around them.
But the prisoner
Yeah,
in here
yeah.
isn't exciting enough for Valgrest. Let's grab everyone's attention with a circus.
रिलीज डेट
But
नहीं आई
great
अभी
performance deserves a huge crowd though.
अभी
Let's
बता
crank
देंगे
it
मैं
up.
भी आज रिलीज डेट बता सकते हैं ना डेट तो क्या बताएंगे मतलब वैसे बताते हैं लोग फॉल
So you
Winter
are
ऐसे
seeing tons of optimizations here.
2028
for
तक
many of the real
28 तक
systems,
बोला है क्या
including an
अबे
entirely new Unreal animation.
तो बना तो
framework,
दिया पूरा
allowing us to
3
think
साल क्या
easily
करेंगे
in our 60 FPS budget, not just in rendering, but also with room to spare on the game thread. Over 300 animated skeletal mesh agents all going about their business. And the whole point is to leave breathing room for developers like you to introduce the gameplay and the systems that your players expect, empowering you to make your worlds come to life without Unreal standing in your way.
You are right. And that's the open world RPG that we are making. But before we wrap
हाँ
up,
27 तक
how
आना
about one
चाहिए
final check-in with Siri. We are making this game to be the most immersive and ambitious open world Witcher game ever. And we are making this a reality thanks to our work on Unreal with the team at Epic. I think what we are doing together is going to bring in a new generation of open world RPGs, and I'm so proud of what we accomplished so far.
We are too.
So
कुछ
we're
ज़्यादा ही
almost
बढ़िया
done,
लग
but
रहा है ये
before
तो
we
यार।
go, here's a small gift for all Witcher fans.
अभी PS5 पे है
A
PS5
first
पे
look at Lanexeter.
ओह डैम ये GT6 को टक्कर GT6 तो अगले ही साल आ रहा है इसको टाइम लगेगा अभी
Onward, Kelby.
इसको 2 साल तो लगेंगे
We've worked.
तालियां भाई तालियां
Thanks, guys.
मस्त
Seriously, it looks amazing. And we've also barely scratched the surface of what's coming in Unreal 5.6. So here's Julien to tell you even more. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
मुझे लगा रिकरोल वाला रिकरोल चला दिया
Hey everyone, great to be here in Orlando. I spent a lot of time on this demo, so I'm happy to be the one to talk about what went into the 5.6 release. An open world like that was just the perfect content to focus on our main goal for the release, which was performance. We want the engine to scale to large and rich worlds. We want to preserve graphics quality. And of course, we want to deliver high frame rates that you and your players expect. So let's check it out, starting with rendering. If you all remember, when we released Nanite with UE5, it supported static geometry. Last year, we brought skinning
क्या
to
बोल रहा है
Nanite.
ये
And now, we're working on Nanite foliage. The only way to have a forest that looks as good as this one is to use
सच
3D
में
geometry
बहुत
for
अच्छा लग
all
रहा है
parts
यार
of the
बहुत ज्यादा बढ़िया लग
just
रहा है
like we do for everything else. However, this is a crazy amount of fine geometry. So we had to rethink how trees are created and displayed. To create them, we developed Nanite assemblies. These 28 little parts that you see are all that we use to build all the spruces from the forest. They are instanced thousands of times and used like building blocks to assemble trees in
अपन
different
भी
ways.
गेम बनाए क्या एक
And as you probably noticed with the wind effect,
जो ये लोग कर रहे वही कर
they
लेंगे
even support skeletal animation, which runs on the GPU. Thanks to assembly, we greatly reduce the storage, the runtime memory, and the rendering cost.
ड्यून
Then, to display an
Rajasthani
entire
tune.
forest, the challenge was to preserve fidelity and performance from any distance. Let's check up close the level of detail we're talking about here.
इतनी डिटेलिंग
Lots of
डाली है
details. But this triangle representation is not the most efficient when far away due to the amount of overlapping. And that's why we made an adaptive voxel representation. But in reality, you'll never see those voxels this close, since when we move the camera back, they're barely a pixel. Nanite foliage is almost done. We are moving it to the main line as we speak, and it will be available for everyone in 5.7. Another thing I would like to share is that ray tracing and Lumen now run more than twice as fast, with no visual trade-off compared to when UE5 was released. And because of that, we
भाई,
can now hit
इसके लिए तो
60 FPS on
बढ़िया पीसी बनाना पड़ेगा यार इसके लिए तो मुझे, क्योंकि PS5 पे तो अल्टीमेट क्वालिटी तो नहीं आएगी और मुझे चाहिए एकदम भयंकर क्वालिटी जो कि पीसी दे सकता है.
cloth. We improve our cloth-to-cloth constraint solution. This removes a lot of collision evaluation when garments are piling up and interacting with each other. Even for complex setup like Series Cape, we hit a
10 लाख नहीं,
sub-millisecond
नहीं.
budget.
कुछ 10 लाख नहीं भाई, जब गेम आएगी 2027 में तो 5080 सही रहेगा, पर 5080 भी तो महंगा ही है यार. घोड़ा देखो तुम.
Your artists will still have control over tetrahedral simulation and train ML models that run fast in real time.
गेम पे बायोलॉजिस्ट भी काम करते
We now
हैं.
support the baking of fluid surface data into lightweight assets to be played back at low cost. This is going to give you high fidelity water without the performance cost of real-time fluid simulation. For animation,
या फिर मैं काम करूंगा, मैं OLED टीवी ले लूंगा और PS5 तो है ही, वो और बढ़िया एक्सपीरियंस रहेगा, वो ज्यादा बढ़िया एक्सपीरियंस रहेगा.
well, that works no matter
ये जो
the
फुटेज है
angle of
सारी ये
approach.
PS5 की फुटेज है
That's
भाई.
our modes character motion matching solution. We also added motion matching in sequencer to build stitch tracks. With them, you can seamlessly transition from gameplay to cinematic. Also, we now have a secondary layer of animation driven by physics in control rig. We used it in Kelpie's rig to drive the main, the tail, and the saddlebags. And now, I'm happy to announce that all these features are already integrated into our new Unreal Animation framework, which we are releasing as experimental.
तो ये क्या पहले वो रहेगा क्या, PS5 एक्सक्लूसिव रहेगा क्या? क्या CD प्रोजेक्ट का गेम PS5 एक्सक्लूसिव रहता है?